welcome to Nintendo Nostalgia, episode 154. I'm your host, Ryan Black, and I am joined by my co-host, Joshua Taylor, and we are back and we are playing with power. Josh, how you doing this week?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm great, man. Just getting prepared for Thanksgiving and the in-laws coming to town. I should say, we're doing actually Thanksmas, so it's going to be Christmas and Thanksgiving rolled into one. So we're kind of preparing for two holidays. It's interesting. Rolling off of a party and trip and everything. Like, funds are tight, but we're making it happen.
Yeah, I think we're about at the same spot right now. I get it.
So you've been dashing around different doors lately. I hear you've been collecting some extra cash here and there to help pay for things. Awesome. Like, what's your interesting things that you've run into? Anything like crazy? Any crazy tips, maybe?
Well, one extremely good one happened to be somebody I actually knew, so that was kind of cool. Other than that, nothing like super interesting so far, except I kind of forgot to give some guys drink, and I kept trying to get back to him. And long story short, he never got his drink, but I didn't get a bad review. So I felt bad though. Well, no, nobody here knows where Cross Lanes is because you all are from Indiana. But basically, if I have to go there, I don't go out that way unless it is an extremely good tip. Traffic in that area. In West Virginia, they might know what I'm talking about because it's pretty terrible.
Well, I think we've covered the intro well enough. Let's get into what we have been Radical Rexing about. So, I've got to ask, like, is there anything that you're Radical Rexing about this week?
A little distracted now. You really just Thanksgiving coming up. That's pretty cool for me. I get to see a lot of family. Don't always get to see. I don't have to go to work for 2 days. That's a good thing. I don't care about shopping on Black Friday. That's usually I lock the doors and stay home and stay out of that mess. Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot else. Just kind of cruising on through till Christmas and everything.
Cool. I've not been doing too much. So like gaming, I've been playing Duel Links a lot on my phone. So a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. I got both King of Games and also I got into the second round of the KC Cup and got about maybe 1,500 points. So not terrible. But I've been having a lot of fun with you Senjus. Probably means nothing to you, Josh. But just having fun playing that game. I got to stream a little bit of Iconoclasts last week, but I haven't been able to get back to it again this week. Holidays, it's busy. But yeah, like I said, I'm still on that job search, trying to find that job that will, sing with better pay and better hours so I can stream and get that off the ground. I'd love that, but I got to be patient right now. It's just big waiting game. It's not prepared my life yet. So, but other than that, like I got a new phone case for my phone. It was at Five Below, believe it or not, and I'm all about checkerboard. Like that's my favorite style, especially like black and white checkerboard. I'm not a race fan. Everybody says that. I know I'm from Indianapolis and the 500s here. Like, no, I don't care about that. I'm more into the ska scene. So, skanking and everything. But yeah, I got like this rainbow checkerboard look, and I also had for a while I've been sitting on this Kingdom Hearts, like those wallet things you stick on the back of your phone. Like they have like kind of like a little slap bracelet type stands on the back. Like so, it was a Kingdom Hearts one, and it was checkerboard as well, and it just fits really well with this checkerboard case. So actually pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty silly that I'm excited about a case, but I don't have to carry my wallet around anymore. It's all on my phone.
I need a new one.
It's little things.
I need a new one for my phone. I got this new phone, and it's just got this plain old black case. I had a Splatoon 2 one for like 2 years. I need something to replace it soon.
We need to get together and play Splatoon 2 together. It'd be fun.
I haven't touched it in a while, but I definitely need to. I just said that the other day. I was like, dang, I need to play Splatoon. It's been a while. It was like my third most played game on my Switch. Most played game on my Switch, I think, still somehow. It's up there.
I'm all up for Salmon Run. Anytime you want to.
Yeah, it was a Salmon Run case. I thought I had it sitting near here, but you can't really see it anyway. But oh yeah.
So this is the episode that goes on. Really, I think it's launching on Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And the topic of the show is all about Thanksgiving and also the holidays, just in general, and what's upcoming. Some things we have recommended for you, and then we'll get into some food too, because everybody loves food. Gets nostalgic for that food. So here we go with our main topic. What are you thankful for?
Oh man, I didn't know where that was going to start. All right, so we're gonna get all mushy here first. So, outside of the obvious answers, my family, my wife, my daughter, everything there. I guess to even keep it on topic, so to speak, I'm thankful for all the game-related stuff that's happened for me this year, because there's been a lot of it. Just start like being able to be a part of this in various ways. That's a big one. Making a bunch of friends through that. Being able to go to Indiana for E3, that was awesome. Heck, Banjo being in Smash, that's not directly related to me, but I gotta throw that in there. So, and then also, of course, the trip I gotta go to with Gamescom because of Mario and Rabbids and all of that. Renee, and my daughter being mentioned in Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair and all of that. But just, I feel like I can keep going. So, there's just been a lot in that area of my life I feel like going on this year. So it's been pretty awesome. And I just want to try to build that and make something useful out of it. So I'm hoping that's starting to go that direction. But I'm thankful all that's been working out so well this year.
Hey man, I'm glad to hear that. I'm doing a show that's it's about nostalgia. So on Nintendo Nostalgia, like I'm really thankful for like just the memories that I have. My memories aren't the greatest, like retention and stuff. Like sometimes things will come to me, but it's really hard for me to recall stuff. I guess I'm just too distracted all the time. I don't know. My dad has memory issues too, so I'm thankful for the memories that I do have and I'm able to bring to the show and things that come up and people remind me of things, because it's hard sometimes. Like I forget what my past is like, and then this kind of keeps me holding on to those memories, and I'm really thankful that I've got family and friends that help me remember that, and also just like making new memories and carrying that forward. I really should do a lot more journaling just so I don't forget everything, But I really, really enjoy just, being a part of everybody's life and talking about my nostalgia with Jacob and you and having all these guests on the show. And it's amazing. It's an amazing experience. I'm thankful for my wife for pushing me to do this and say, you know what, you really love doing this. You love video games, go do it. And I'm so thankful. And I'm happy that life is good. Things may be hard, but we've got a good family here at my house, and got lots of people to share it with, and I'm really thankful, man. It's a good year. It's got its trials and tribulations on our end, but you know what? I'm happy.
Well, that is all that matters.
It's really great. Like Thanksgiving is a wonderful time to celebrate. Like the other day, I was just joking. Like, I was like talking to my friends, like, "Hey, man, you gonna celebrate like Thanksgiving, or Friendsgiving, or what have you?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "You're gonna." It's like you're worshiping food or something. The way that America takes it, like all kinds of like copious amounts of fattening food and like passing out afterwards with belly like extended. Always family every year, someone, either my in-laws or whatever, joke about like, taking off the notch in the belt or, loosening the pants or something. Like just so much food. So I wanted to know, what is your idea of like the most ideal Thanksgiving food? Like thing that gets you like the most nostalgic, like your mouth is totally watering right now when you think about it.
That was really hard for me to come up with, to be honest, because there's a good handful. I always love Thanksgiving. Just
paint us a picture of your spread.
It's my kind of stuff. Like, I get mad and everybody's trying to skip on to Christmas. I'm like, no, let me eat. But anyway, so I guess some of the big ones that stick out, like, so my mom makes this like sweet potato casserole that she got from my grandma and all of that stuff. I had it like my whole life. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. I don't even know how to explain that one. Then there's like this green bean casserole and all this. Basically, I like casseroles. Like, I like mixing together a bunch of junk. I like the turkey and stuff. That's all right. But I'm the one with all the just random mixed up junk on my plate, and I'm happy with it. So, and then of course, dessert pecan pie, more than any.
Oh, nice. Do you do any of the stuffing or anything?
Oh yeah, a little bit of everything.
So I got to ask the important question. Now, first of all, I'm assuming that you guys do the cranberry sauce. But second of all, how do you serve it, if you do?
Well, I honestly have like 3 to 4 houses spread out that I go to, so it kind of depends.
Okay.
That's not something I'd eat a whole lot of. So I'm not really sure how to answer that one. I think the way it has been at my mom's is like, it's kind of this own thing, if that makes sense. Like, there's 2 different ones. Like, there's ones you can use as like a sauce, and then there's this big like clump. It sounds kind of gross, but yeah, that's actually one of the few things I don't eat a whole lot of.
So my family make it a point in recent years, especially with my in-laws, like, you have to have everything, like, handmade, hand prepped, like, all the love put into it. The one thing that is canned is this cranberry sauce. Like, you plop it out straight from the can onto the dish, and everybody cuts a piece off. And like, I don't understand that, but I guess it's apparently better from the can, just straight from the can. Yeah. So it's like everything else looks nice and prepared by hand, and then you come to this can-shaped blob sitting on the table. It's very interesting.
I think a lot of people do it that way. Honestly, that might be what my mom does with the one, to be honest, but I don't know.
I'm definitely not a big cranberry sauce fan. I don't really mess with that too much, and I hope I'm calling it right. I'm sure there's some other name for it or something, but it's what it is. I mean, I'll drink cranberry juice all day, but I don't know. I just can't get over the cranberry jelly that is.
It's different. Sauce. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with it, to be honest. I always try, but it's just like, okay, moving on to something else.
And just as a disclaimer, no turkeys are harmed in the making of this podcast. Trash turkey. We're making sure keeping you safe. We're defending you, man. So going back to nostalgia, I think growing up, the big staples, like the things that my mother would make. There's a cornbread casserole that she'd make, and every year, love it, absolutely love it. And more of a New Year's tradition. There's sloppy joes that they do, but they always serve ham, and I absolutely hate ham with a passion. Like, I can't stand any way it's prepared. So it came to me as a surprise when our first Thanksgiving at our house, here at what we call Moonacre Manor. We decided to try something different. My wife was like, I'm going to make a ham that my husband will like. And I was really skeptical. Like, I was sure this was just going to be another failure. And so it was made with like a can of Coke. Just simple as that, like can of Coke and like some, like, I think brown sugar or something. And like the ham, and you cook it all together, like in like a slow cooker. And like, I had it and I couldn't stop eating it. Like, I hate the taste of ham, but some reason the Coke just got rid of whatever I hated in the ham, and it was just amazing. It just fell off the bone, and oh my goodness.
I think I've had something like that before, and it was really good.
So that's like my favorite thing about like the Thanksgiving holiday is my wife's ham.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We're actually going to be skipping the ham this year, but due to some turkey issues that we had. So we had to spend the money to buy another turkey because the other one, it didn't survive. So I'm going to be missing it this year. And so I just wanted to like give it a shout out because like that's a big thing for me. Um, you know, I love me some food, like, and following everything up with a dessert. So my mom makes this eclair dessert. It's like kind of like a vanilla pudding on. It's almost like a dessert lasagna in a way. So you've got the graham cracker crust on the bottom, then like this vanilla pudding in the center, and then another graham cracker crust on top, and then like a fudge like layer on top of that, and delicious stuff, super delicious. Like you put like a bunch of like Cool Whip and stuff in it. We can't have it around my house really anymore because my wife's allergic to dairy. Someday I'll figure out a way to make it dairy free. I'm gonna find some dairy free whipped cream and go to town. But it's just like big desserts and stuff. Like you can make a fancy pie, and pumpkin pie, sure, that's a staple in anybody's like Thanksgiving table. And my wife makes like a pumpkin custard, like in the pumpkin. You serve it out of the pumpkin. That's pretty good too. But oh man, those desserts, if you have room for them afterwards, usually about maybe 2-3 hours after the meal, we break out the desserts because it's just, you're so full.
Oh yeah, there's got to be a halftime show or something in between the two.
Yeah. Now, do you ever get up early in the morning and watch the parade or anything like that?
Oh yeah. Trying to think of how deep to go into all these traditions. So this year things are a little bit different. Just going to a different family member's house. They had actually lived in Indiana for a while. They're back. We're going to their house instead of my mom's, just to keep a long story short. But yeah, a lot of times we've gotten up, we'll go over there and end up watching a lot of that. This is going to sound kind of funny, but I guess it kind of is. But there's a lot of grandkids and stuff on that side. My own daughter being one of them. And my mom always prints off like these packets. It's like mazes and things to color and everything, and all the adults end up playing with it too. So she's already, like, she even mentioned, all right, I printed off a bunch of these packets already, so we'll probably mess around with that. Just something to do. But man, I completely lost track of where I was going with that, to be honest. Well,
we're kind of talking about like traditions and going to families and stuff, and like activities you do. So one thing I find, like, if there's a puzzle set out, like for people to do puzzles, like at a family function, like a holiday get together, like I'm there. I'm like, I have to put the puzzle together. Like I'm almost obsessive about it. I don't think of anything else around me pretty much. I just like zone in on the puzzle. Oh, yeah. And it's a great way to just like space out. Being an introvert and everything, like I'm not always in the conversation. So like, hearing people talk and have conversate while I'm trying to put together this puzzle is perfectly fine for me.
Now, one thing funny we did a couple of years ago, while there was a football game going on, it ended up getting turned off in favor of us playing Tecmo Bowl on the NES Classic.
That's awesome.
That was pretty fun. I got destroyed by my uncle who grew up with the game, but it was a good time.
I don't have very many like Thanksgiving video game memories at all. It's kind of strange. And really, it's not for lack of trying. I mean, back in the Wii days, like I would take my Wii over there and set it up and turn it on for everybody to play, and it just everybody else was doing their own thing.
Oh yeah,
and one thing, like every family function on my side of the family, like they had to break out the cards. Like it's all about playing cards, like canasta, euchre, rummy, like. You name it, they're playing it.
Oh
yeah. So that's kind of like the big thing. I almost got them all to join in on playing on the Wii, Wii bowling and stuff like that. But the cards just pulled them all away. I tried.
I've been there.
I really did. I tried to make those Thanksgiving memories and video games.
Oh yeah, mine doesn't always work out that well. Just hit and miss. When it does, it does. It's pretty great. I think Jackbox was last year, if I remember correctly.
I definitely could never do Jackbox with my family, but yeah.
It's yeah, depending on who's playing, it's not always the most family friendly event, but it's
yeah. Yeah. I feel like humors are very different from like my family and like my parents and extended family and everything, so I get that. Honestly, the doodle games are just a lot of fun. Like Jackbox are perfect like holiday games to play. And that's kind of a great segue to talk about like what we think like this year you should get, for your holiday like buy list. Like what should you get for Christmas? Like what should you put on your list? We really wanted to highlight that, and we brought a couple things to the table. But we also want to say like we might throw out some things, some suggestions for just family friendly games like Jackbox, and then just like Mario Party and things like that. Depending on how much you want to hate your family afterwards. But Josh, why don't you kick us off? Give us a couple of games you think would be a good pick for this year. You got to pick up.
Okay, so one specifically for this year. I want to go ahead and get what's probably the most obvious coming from me out of the way first. And I wanted to avoid like first party titles and such because I feel like those are kind of goes without saying. Most of the time, first party Nintendo titles are good to go or a safe bet. So yeah, the first one I'm going to mention, of course, is Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. If you're a big platformer fan, especially, I think it's great. It has been on sale if you can find it. For the Switch, if you get the like physical version, it's been $40, but it's been $10 for a couple days if you can find it at a GameStop. But so that's another great thing, and think I've gotten like 45 hours out of it. But yeah, I would definitely start there. I think it's a great one. That it is single player, but like when I had a friend over here the other day with it, it's one that's pretty fun to kind of go back and forth with. Like, hey, you give this a shot, and then you just kind of pass it off. So it's one that you can play on your own, or if you have a couple people maybe that want to join in and are cool with that sort of thing. Yeah, I definitely recommend that one. But I've went on and on about that one before, so I'll cut that off for now.
What? No way. So I'll echo that Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Such a good game. I'm really surprised. I think it's probably my game of the year. There's a few I haven't gotten around to playing, and maybe those would fit in there too. I've been hearing good things about Pokemon. I've got Witcher, I've got Astral Chain all sitting on my Switch I haven't even touched. So I think I would get into them, but I've just been busy. I'd been more in the mood for quick play stuff and Duel Links and stuff. Cell phone right there. Hop on for a couple seconds before having to do the next task. So it's hard to really narrow down like what is like definitively this is what you have to get this year. But I did have a couple in mind. And we keep coming back to it here at my house. We're talking, we had a party that we threw for Halloween. It was actually late. It was in November that when we had the party. So at the beginning of this month. And, as things started winding down for the party, like everybody wanted to break out Baba Is You and and play that and watch like all of us trying to figure out how to solve these puzzles. And that's like one of the big picks that I pick for this year. Like you have to experience Baba Is You, to figure out the puzzles and think in different ways to solve how to get this little character to the flag to win the level. And oftentimes you change the character into something else, or you change the world around it, and you change the physics of the game just to reach your goal. To reach the win condition. Often changing the win condition to do that, and it's a really, really cool game. Got a lot of depth, a lot of replayability. Just like going back to it and having friends try it out, and it's awesome to have feedback with people there listening and offering like, hey, why don't you try this, or maybe you can do it this way, or you can do it in this order, and it's cool working together with that. It's not. I mean, again, it's a single player game, but you can work together to achieve that success and that puzzle solving skills stuff.
Can you do puzzles in different ways? Like, can you beat a certain puzzle in different ways of going about it?
Some puzzles are like so like tightly wound that you have to do it a certain way to figure it out. But finding that out and figuring that out and thinking of that is really, really difficult. Yeah. You just kind of experiment, and it's really easy to rewind any mistakes you've made, and then start at it again.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. It's a good little game. Definitely worth picking up for the holiday.
Yeah.
So what's your second pick?
Well, the next one, Jacob's going to love this when he hears it. I'm actually going to say Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. One, it's I think it's kind of obviously a good multiplayer one, because it's of course similar to Mario Kart, but it's got a lot. I think it's got a little more depth to it. For one, it's got a more of a dedicated single player mode. It's more of an adventure mode. I want to almost say like Diddy Kong Racing, but it is a little bit different. But it does have a little open world kind of map, or overworld, so to speak. But outside of that, there's just a ton of content to it. Some of it takes a little longer to unlock than other parts, but there's a lot to it, and it's one of those where, like, if you really get to playing it a lot, really get to be an expert at it, you can do some really cool stuff. So, in some ways, I actually do like it better than Mario Kart 8. And I really like that game. But I just feel like it has a little bit more meat to it. And I would definitely recommend it. And I think it's a pretty good value. I believe I've seen it for $30 recently. Something along those lines. So it's really not that bad to pick up, I would say. And I think it's a good one that, you can get several people to jump into, or just play it on your own. And there's still plenty to do from that standpoint. There's events, even like daily challenges every day right now for different reasons, to unlock things to go through. So there's always something to do.
It's not something that's moved me to want to buy it, even though you keep saying like buy it, and all these things. Like, but the idea that it's similar to your Diddy Kong Racing is very alluring for me. Like the boss races and things like that. It sounds like a really cool thing. And I might think about picking that up. I know you've been really big about that game, and I'm not like against Crash. I'm not one of those people that's like, hate on Crash like Jacob. But I'm really glad that that it's showing so well. I don't like that you're comparing it and saying it's better than Mario Kart in some ways. Like, that rubs me the wrong way, but that's just me.
It feels a little wrong. but
and then hearing you like playing Crash and then going back to Mario Kart and you can't play it all, I'm like, I don't know if I want to play Crash because I don't want to get bad at Mario Kart again. It took me a long time to get to the point where I am.
That's the events I mentioned that go on every month, different themes and things. I put so much time into it. Part of it's my wife also has it on her Switch. We've been kind of doing it together. And it definitely feels different. There's a whole drifting system in it that takes a little more. It's not as beginner friendly. I will at least say that. But it takes a little time to get used to. But once you get used to it, you can do some pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't mean to overtalk it. Some of it's just me kind of joking, but yeah, I'd still recommend it if you like that sort of thing. It's definitely one of the better kart racers out there.
And that's something like to say, like, they've been keeping it evergreen by releasing DLC updates regularly and doing events and stuff. And that's something that Mario Kart doesn't really do. Mario Kart stands the test of time, but like, it's awesome that they're giving this like so much support, and a lot of special like crossovers and different things. Like, I think I saw Neo Cortex in like a clown outfit or something.
There was this month. This month is like a circus theme. Like last month was Halloween. Spyro was September, so Spyro and a bunch of stuff came over. There's a new track every event that pops up, new characters, costumes, and stuff like that. Carts. So I've put 100 and some hours into it, and that's far from getting everything. And yet there is. There is microtransactions in it if you want to put extra money into it, but you don't have to. I don't. And I'm perfectly fine.
Wow. There was a couple games that I picked up on a sale that just popped up on Amazon. They had Starlink for like $12 or something, like the pack with Fox and everything. So I jumped on that one, and then 50% off. They had this game. And I just got a chance to finally play it with Traven last weekend. Me and Traven and Jacob got to play together a little bit. And that's kind of the next game I'm going to be bringing to the table here. I think you should pick up. And it's for the competitive mind, like the arcade competitive. And that is Killer Queen Black. Amazon, I don't know if the sale's still running or not, but Amazon had it 50% off. So I got it for $15. Like, I couldn't pass that up because it's a game that I had on my list I really wanted to get. Really, really excited to play that. And so I grabbed it on the sale. I did put it on my Christmas list for family, and if I do end up getting it, I'm probably going to be passing it on to like my sister-in-law so we can play together. But I'm really excited to get into that. But yeah, I got to play it with Traven, and it was every bit as what I'd hoped it would be. Like if you like Joust growing up, like hitting that nostalgia, like playing the arcade and playing Joust and stuff. Maybe even played it on Sega, or did they have it on NES or SNES? I don't even know if I ever played it on a Nintendo system, honestly. Oh wait, I played it on my Game Boy. I did. That was my first Joust experiences on my Game Boy, and so yeah. So it kindles that, and it's got more of a competitive scene. Like there's a lot more you can do, but like the flapping and attacking and stuff like that, like kind of dueling in midair, it captures that feeling, and it's really really fun game to play if you're into competitive. And that's definitely one I recommend for this holiday season. It's not an expensive game really.
Yeah, it definitely is look tempting. Is it? I know it's multiplayer. So I know it's online, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do online or local.
So it's
against bots, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know how that worked. If you could have like 4 people, multiplayer.
You can do, I believe you can do 4v4. They don't have 5v5. They just reserve that for the arcade because it started out in the arcade. Even though the Switch would probably be capable of doing it, they just kept it to the 4v4.
Okay. So. I mean, if you're...
but you can also I think you have to have a couple systems to link all 8 together.
Yeah.
But you all can look on one screen, even though a second Switch is connected, like you can, play up to 8 players, and it's a fun party game, just kind of going up against each other. There's 3 different win conditions, and it's, there's the slow victory, there's the building up points victory, and then there's the dominating your enemy queen, taking her out, knocking her out of the sky. So it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a good little multiplayer game.
Oh yeah, it looks like a good one. I'll have to keep my eye on that one.
All right, so we were supposed to bring 2 games to the table, but I hear that you brought an extra one.
Well,
so want to get into that?
I'm going to kind of cheat, I believe, here. I wanted to go 100 different directions with this, but of course, there's all the first party ones, like I mentioned. There's quite a bit actually that had come to mind. But to actually back it up a little bit, because I saw a current sale that looks really good, I think Mario and Rabbids is going to be like $15 this year, and I think that one's a great one on your own, or even particularly, I really like that versus mode. It's only 2 players, but
there is a killer deal at Walmart where they're bundling Mario plus Rabbids and Starlink together.
Oh yeah, I have seen that. I think it's $29.99, I believe.
Yeah, like $30 for both games. Like that's an awesome deal.
So yeah, just to throw a deal in there, and I recommend both of those games. I know Starlink didn't get as much of attention, but I think it's a lot of fun. But yeah, with Mario and Rabbids in particular, of course, it's special to me for reasons. But my wife and I particularly has played a lot of the versus mode. There's also co-op and things like that. So it's only 2 players or 1, of course, to get through the main story. But I definitely recommend that. I'm not even all that into that sort of style of game, the kind of tactical RPG sort of thing, but I really like what they did with that one. A lot of personality put into it.
So I didn't bring a third one. I didn't expect that. Though if I did have a third one, I did have one reserved in case you didn't say it, which you did. I knew you would, but Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, like I said, it's probably my game of the year. So definitely worth picking up, especially with the crazy GameStop deal that's going right now.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, definitely look into that. I hope to recommend Pokemon once I actually get to play it. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. As far as a Pokemon game, it's amazing. It may not be great as a Pokemon Legacy game, but as a Pokemon game moving forward, I've heard a lot of good things about it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I've heard it does what it needs to do, and it does it well. It's not revolutionary necessarily. I don't know. I haven't played it, but it's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. But it looks fun.
So before we close out the show, we do have a voicemail to play. Jacob couldn't be on the show tonight, but he wanted to call in and say what he was thankful for and a couple of picks here. So I'll go ahead and play the voicemail for you guys before we close out the show.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Jacob. Sorry I could not be on the episode today, but I did want to call in, and I'll be doing this a couple times here throughout the rest of the year. I just, to our listeners, I just have some personal family stuff that I have to attend to and to make sure is a priority in my life and in check. So I'm not able to join every episode just for the remainder of this year. Starting next year, I'll be back at it, full swing. But I do want to call and just leave a couple thoughts and tidbits on some of the episodes. Hopefully I can make it back for a couple more this year, though. But for today, we're one right before Thanksgiving. Guys, my favorite Thanksgiving food that I wanted to tell you is stuffing with gravy on top of it. Yeah, I love stuffing and I love gravy. You got to have both. So those are my Thanksgiving foods I love. But we're also talking today about games that you have got to really consider about getting for Christmas if you haven't. And I'm not going to go into elaborate detail as Ryan and Josh will with their own. And thanks, for those guys stepping up and being able to continue the show while I'm not even available to do it. But I recommend, obviously, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is a fantastic game. If you love 2D platformers, you love exploration, you love old DKC games, get it. You've heard us preach about it a lot. Fantastic. I highly recommend that one. And I think you should consider, if you haven't, Luigi's Mansion 3. It's fantastic. It's got good co-op. It's beautiful. It's witty. It's fun. You should get it. And then the third one I want to bring to the table that if people haven't gotten this year and they should get, really consider, Astral Chain. Best intro I have ever seen in a video game. It is fun. It is really just fast-paced, upbeat, good stuff. So, Astral Chain, Yooka-Laylee, Impossible Lair, Luigi's Mansion 3, go get them. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll be back another time. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Jacob. We are so thankful for you, man. Thank you so much for, just, putting your family first and just, taking care of that, what you need to. And I'm thankful for how strong of a good guy you are, a good family man you are. And, it's really awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, and that whole gravy thing on the stuffing, is delicious. I do it all the time. You got to put gravy all over your turkey, the dressing, stuffing, whatever you call it, mashed potatoes, over everything that everybody won't think you're crazy for.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever put gravy on my stuffing. I like a moist stuffing. I don't like the really super dry stuff. But maybe if I get the dry stuff, I might put some gravy on it just to see if that makes it better.
It helps.
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to the stuffing this year. Lots of food, lots of family, lots of fun. Hopefully, lots of gaming. We'll see. With Christmas rolled in, maybe I'll get some kind of video game or something and have something more to play. Not that I don't already have a huge backlog, but it's going to be great to just give gifts too. It's a lighter year. We were saving for Disney all year, so we're not giving too many gifts to each other as a family. But giving gifts to in-laws and my extended family is going to be great. I don't expect a lot in return. That's fine. I'm happy with what I've got right now. So it's a good year. It really is. Even though it's a lean year, it's a good year. And I'm very thankful for everything that is on our plate, especially what's on our plate on Thanksgiving Day. Guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Do you have any final thoughts you want to share, Josh, before we close out?
Nothing major, but like I said before, I'm thankful to be here and for everybody that does listen to our show and just participates in everything, is part of the community. It means a lot.
I'm really thankful for you, man. And I got to tell your wife this because, I want to brag on you a little bit. You are an awesome guy. You've come through for us a bunch of times. You're managing our community, getting our events going, and you're really, stepping up, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. You are just leagues above, more than we could ask for. Thank you for all that you do. And I'm hoping I can help you get streaming here soon because I know that's something you're interested in, and Maybe you can do that as an income, and not as much door dashing, but doing what you love, playing video games and streaming. So hope to get you to that point, in the next year. So I'm really thankful for you, man.
Whatever form that takes. You as well. Everybody involved with that. It means a ton to me. I enjoy it. And I'll have to have my wife listen to that because she hit me with a bracelet in the middle of this episode in case you weren't paying any attention. So I'm flying across the room and hit me right in between the eyes. So.
It was amazing. I saw it.
Yep.
All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us on the Nintendo Village, nintendovillage.com/Nintendo Nostalgia, on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/NintendoNOS, on our Twitter at Nintendo_NOS. Shoot us an email at nintendonostalgiain@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube, and also we're on Instagram at NintendoNOSIN. You can give us a call on our hotline, 317-969-5690. Leave your favorite nostalgic memories. Maybe it's video game, maybe it's not. Maybe it's your favorite food. Just chime in for this episode. We'd love to hear what you have to say about that, in your memories and your traditions. I think that brings us to the end. Josh, thanks so much this week. I will see you next week. Later, Preston.
Bye-bye.